to run that bass low.
Voila! In view, humble vaudevillian veteran, cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is vestige of the vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this valerious visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified, and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice, and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of violation. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta, held as a votive not in vain, for the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, this vichoise verbiage veers most verbose, and so let me simply add that it is my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.T. Welcome to the November 5th edition of the V Podcast. As you can see, I'm doing this a little differently than usual because, well, you can see me. I will be doing this one solo, so if you hope to hear any sexy voices from my companions, you're out of luck. Instead, you have to deal with mine. Now, why am I doing this? Well, it's been a while since we've done a V podcast. Not really a lot's been going on right now, which kind of sucks. Games have been kind of slow, but again, we just hit November, and big things are on the horizon. We have, let's see, what do we have going on? Oh yeah, the PS4 coming out. Next gen is kicking off in basically a merely 2 weeks. Now, as you can imagine, I will definitely be getting the PS4. I will be passing on the Xbox One, mostly because of money, but also because I'm sort of a fanboy. Mostly the second thing and sort of the first thing, because, you know, graduate from college and student loans are kicking in, and that kind of sucks. Yeah, but so pretty much I wanted to kind of go over my plans for my channel, considering I haven't been getting many views. Yeah, thanks to the 4 guys who've been watching my shit. Really appreciate it. It's kind of sucked because, you know, I haven't really been doing much anyway, and what I have been putting a lot of time into, such as that Beyond trailer, which regrettably wasn't a lot of time, but for a whole night cranking work into it, and I felt I got a lot done in that period. Only to get about 10% views from my subscribers is sort of a kick in the balls. Not even really a metaphor there. It pretty much is a kick in the balls. Hit me right in the stomach. But, you know, that's fine. You know, Beyond wasn't very popular. My Let's Play got, like, a max of, like, 200 views throughout all, like, 25, 26 parts. But that's okay. It's alright. You know, I realized that my channel pretty much got started on a lot of different videos from what I'm doing now. And I'm hoping that in the future I can come back to that. But I'll get to that in a second. So let's go over my quick plans for what's coming up on my channel. So, of course, like I said, I'm grabbing the PS4, so you can expect an unboxing video. I already picked up a DualShock 4 and Killzone Shadowfall because those have released. I'll go over the DualShock 4 in a little bit. So, definitely, I'll be there launch night, midnight release. So, that night, I hope to crank out a lot of videos. I'm really expecting to hopefully get an unboxing video, a UI demonstration, game loading, you know, any sort of content I can throw up there that you haven't already seen. I'm hoping to get out, show some friends lists, show some interconnectivity between the Vita and the PS4. Again, going to cover that more in a little bit about how that remote play actually might work or may not work, and pretty much just show everything generalized without a lot of gameplay yet. It's going to be difficult because out of the box, the PS4 and with update 1.5 won't support capture devices. Which it will in the future, as it's been confirmed, which is great because I did pick up the HD PVR2 Gaming Edition for like, it was like $120. It's a really good deal actually, and sold my old one for $100, so it really cost me like $20. Fucking legit. But that's sitting over there on my PS3, all fucked up and plugged in because PS3 is weird like that. But the PS4 will support that, so eventually I will be getting HD quality, you know, 1080p videos to you guys. With gameplay, UI, everything that you want. I mean, obviously I can do some gameplay because the PS4 does support 15-minute captures. But still, that's not a lot. You know, Let's Plays are going to take a lot of effort with that going on there. So look forward to that. Hopefully the update happens really quickly. But I will have cameras loaded up. I'm probably going to use my big old nice Sony PlayStation telemonitor here. This thing's legit, but I'll probably have a camera set up in front of it, so hopefully it'll be the best quality that I can get out there. Maybe not the best for audio, but video, I'm thinking it's going to be at least pretty decent. Now, I will be picking up 2 games at the launch of the PS4, at least full-base disc games, and that's going to be Battlefield 4 and Killzone 4. So you can expect to see a lot of first-person shooters stuff going up on my channel. I probably won't be doing any Let's Plays just because, like I said, PS4 doesn't support the capture or HD capture, so I'm going to have to record with a camera, and that's just, I don't really want to put it that much, not poor quality, but definitely less quality than, direct streaming from the console video on my channel. I really don't want to do that much of it, but I will be throwing up, probably reviews of the games, of the stories, and some multiplayer in there. Definitely multiplayer videos. I got a few buddies that are also picking up the games, of course, so I'll be playing with them. So I'm going to hopefully find a way to get them incorporated into this whole plan of mine as well, to upload multiplayer videos, because some of them do have PVRs. Might get some multiple views going on. Might get them in here to talk about some of the games and the PS4. So in case you don't have time to pick one up, you get multiple viewpoints on how they, think everything operates, how everything feels, games in general. Just sort of multiple viewpoints of reviews and stuff from there. Beyond that, what I want to do with my channel is sort of bring it back to how I originally got started. Now, this of course isn't right away. What I was just detailing is what's coming up very quickly within about 2.5 weeks, like I said. However, what I got started on my channel and what I got probably 90% of my subscribers on was Monster Hunter videos, because I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan. Absolutely love the series, favorite game series ever. Monster Hunter veteran. I've played just about all of them that have been on Sony consoles. Actually, I have played all of them that have been on Sony consoles since Monster Hunter 1. I jumped into that pretty quickly after my friend showed it to me, I think after a few months after release, and loved it ever since. I've been playing all of them. But that's the problem, is I only have Sony consoles. I got, PS2, PSP, Vita, and PlayStation 3, soon to be PlayStation 4. I don't have money or time, really, for any other consoles right now. I have a PC. Obviously, I'm recording on one. Pretty nice end too. It's my brother helped me build it last year. It's legit, but of course they don't really offer Monster Hunter on PC. That was Frontier. Can't get to that. Monster Hunter Online. That's in beta. Probably won't be able to get to that. We'll see. They have the new Monster Hunters have been coming out on Wii and Nintendo 3DS and Wii U. I just don't have one of those. I don't have the money. I'm not going to shell out that much money just to buy one game and play it there. However, if it is the case that a new Monster Hunter does end up coming out on Vita, like obviously they're porting Monster Hunter Frontier over to Vita, but I don't think we're actually going to be able to get that in the States, access to it, because that's subscription-based online. And Chinese, I can't read that at all. That's just not going to work for that much game in different language. But if they do come out with one, hopefully soon, however unlikely, on the PlayStation console, you can expect that I will be putting out lots of videos. I do have a few series in mind relating to Monster Hunter, but I just really not feeling jumping back into a very old Monster Hunter, something I've done everything and I pretty much collected all weapons and armor and just sort of trying to survive on it because no one's watching those anyway. So as for Monster Hunter, basically what I'm saying is you're going to have to wait. But keep in mind that if I do get into a Monster Hunter Online beta, Monster Hunter Online period, because that one looks really sweet, I will definitely be throwing up some videos of that. So if you do know how to get access to that, please let me know. So moving on, another sort of section of my channel has been Vita videos, and of course I can't really record Vita. No one really can unless you have a developer Vita, which is fucking stupid. Sony dropped the ball on that one, which they've been doing recently quite a bit. But I am able to record on my Vita with camera off screen, whatever, it sucks. But as far as I'm seeing, there's really not a lot of games coming out for Vita. Killzone Mercenary was like the last big hit. Upcoming, I'm not really seeing anything. So Vita videos, probably not going to see much. Maybe some remote play in there, but whatever, nothing really for it. So don't expect much from there. Not that like you guys have really been watching those anyway. Now, one other thing that I really like doing, and it kind of sucks, because a lot of my friends don't really like to put in the time, or it doesn't work out with schedules and whatnot, is I like to do collaborations with other people for videos. I've done this before in the past with Monster Hunter, getting different viewpoints. I've done this with Uncharted 3. I think I did it with Killzone 3 once or twice. Just taking different one multiplayer match, different people playing it, put it all in one video, different viewpoints and stuff. I really want to do that some more in the future. So if you guys have capture devices and you want to get together with me, maybe link our channels together, something, or if you don't have a channel, you just want me to put it up and be Grady, that's fine too. More than happy to do that. So if you do have a PVR, and as soon as, presumably you have a PS4 or will have one, and as soon as that patch gets implemented and we can actually record, I'd really like to hook up and see what we can do as far as that. Really, I'm pretty open-ended there, not really looking at any specific game or anything. I really wanted to do The Last of Us recently, well, not even recently since it came out, but none of my friends play it anymore, and none of them really had PVRs or used them anyway, so that kind of sucked, but that would have been perfect. Now, finally, other videos that I'm going to be planning on doing in the future, maybe, are, like I said, some PC videos. I do plan on buying Titanfall when that comes out next year, because that game looks legit, and sadly it's an exclusive, but good for them. But I will grabbing that. I just grabbed Prototype 2, so I'm getting sort of into the PC game, which I really haven't been, which is stupid because I have this awesome kick-ass mouse with 17 programmable buttons, and it's just legit for gaming. So I don't know why I haven't get into it, but I definitely should, right? So maybe you can see some stuff on there too. But also, I'm thinking about doing some miscellaneous videos. I've been watching my friend Demo, and I think I can give him a run for his money. Not really given any ideas yet, like out forth, but well, you might see something. Just watch, all right? So let's get more into the news stuff about what you should be looking out for, what's really coming up, what should be grabbing your attention. So first off, this is going to be PlayStation Central, all right, because that's pretty much what I'm focused on right now, and that's what I've been looking into, and pretty much a PlayStation Center channel. So PlayStation Plus in November, they just released the info on what free games we're going to be getting. Very legit games. Man, they look really good. Some of the times, the months that released, I'm sort of like, I'm not really sure I want to get into those. Like, that's cool to have that game in my collection, but I'm not going to play it. But all of these, I think people will be really happy with. So, first off, for PlayStation 4, they're going to have Resogun and Contrast. Resogun is basically a different take on Super Stardust HD, except instead of spherical, it's more horizontal. Sort of like a side-scroller, but it's more cylindrical, actually. Cylindrical is the proper term for it, because it goes like this. Going to look beautiful. Housemarque just does an awesome job anyway. That's one of those games you can just pick up and just play pretty much whenever you want, without really, if no one's on, you can just play like a round or two. And it's really nice to have those games like that compared to the big games we got to dedicate a lot of time to. Contrast is sort of this odd, interesting take on a platformer, action platformer for the PS4, where you play as a girl and she can morph into a shadow whenever she wants to be able to transgress through the world. So let's say you have a bridge and it's broken, but there's a shadow lines up where you can turn into a shadow, climb the bridge on the shadow side. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know a whole lot else about it, but it seems sort of like not really a puzzler, but like a platform puzzle mix, pretty much. So I would definitely grab that. I've been hearing good things about it from the reviews, even on IGN, which is a surprise because they're pretty pessimistic on most things. We're also on the PS3 going to get Ibn Ab, which of course is the best girlfriend game ever because it makes them think and get all cute and frustrated, and it's pink. There's pink everywhere in that thing, so girls are going to be attracted to it. But it's fun. It actually is really challenging. I'm playing with my girlfriend, and of course she's the pink one. And we've been going through. We haven't beat it yet because she's not around, but also because it is actually quite challenging. The puzzles are so simple. They don't really introduce a lot of new things into the game that it just gets more difficult as the game goes on, which is what you want in a puzzler. Instead of introducing a new thing, taking down the difficulty, bringing it back up, and then you just keep going from there. You never really get super difficult until like maybe the last chapter or something. But Ibn Ab definitely brings that difficulty in there and requires a lot of teamwork. Really fun game. We're also going to get Dragon Dogma Dark Arisen, which is sort of an expansion addition onto the original Dragon's Dogma from Capcom, and that is like a interesting. It's basically an attempt at a cool Monster Hunter where you can jump on things. But then they did that with Monster Hunter 4, and they're like, well, fuck, we can't sell anymore. Don't know much about it. Probably going to grab it. I liked the demo. Never picked up the game. Yeah, looks good. Binary Domain is another one we're going to get. Don't know anything about it. Heard it's good. Will be picking it up. Soul Sacrifice for the Vita. Definitely a must-have. Not the biggest replay value in the end. There is some replay value in there, just collecting different spells, but it is a blast, especially when you get to play with other people, and it does have an infrastructure mode built into it, because obviously it is on the Vita. So definitely pick up Soul Sacrifice. There's a lot of fun in there, and it's very Monster Hunter-esque. It's very action-based-esque. A little bit of strategy thrown in there, but mostly it's just beating up on different god, demon, creature things, which are really weird. But you're going to want to get used to it because Soul Sacrifice Delta is coming out in Japan, upcoming. I think it's coming out next year sometime. And we'll probably get a port of that over to the US. I'm assuming as much because it is a big enough expansion in addition to the game where it's going to change a lot of the gameplay things and add some different spells. Now, I personally probably won't be picking up Soul Sacrifice Delta just because the save files can transfer over from Soul Sacrifice to Soul Sacrifice Delta, which removes a lot of gameplay. And in all honesty, for me, I only use a certain handful of spells, so there's really not a lot of replay value for me after I get those spells. Now that might change, I'll have to look in to see it, but nonetheless, Soul Sacrifice, that large chunk of game there, really good story actually, awesome voice acting. If you check out my review of that, definitely worth it for the Vita if you don't have much, which most Vita players don't. Then finally we're going to get Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD, and just good classic games, really good throwback, especially remastered in HD. Definitely going to want to check that out. Fun, it's strategy for the most part. Action strategy, whatever, and it's just it'll bring you back if you're not a 10-year-old for the most part. Now, I want to take a minute to talk about the DualShock 4. I had picked that up recently and also grabbed Killzone Shadowfall, which obviously is just collecting dust for the most part. Not sure why they released that early. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But the DualShock 4 I've been playing with The Last of Us with my buddy. Shout out to him, he's awesome, and it's pretty legit. Like, you have to keep it plugged in, and it pretty much works with a lot of PS3 things. I tried it on my PC, and that was a major disappointment because I plugged it in. It worked perfectly. Drivers installed, updated flawlessly. Went into the control scheme in the settings, control panel, and everything popped up. And then I tried to play a game with it. Didn't work. Nothing. Couldn't recognize it at all. Tried multiple games. Nothing. Didn't have it. It was shit. So that really pisses me off. So hopefully they'll update some drivers for it so it's compatible with different games. Steam primarily, because that's what most people use. But as of right now, you're not going to use it on a PC. Now let's go over this a little bit. So we got the DualShock 4, you can see. And the first thing I want to point out is that the USB slot is different. So it's got, instead of micro, or instead of mini, it's a micro. So you're going to have to buy all new cables, which kind of sucks. It's kind of stupid why they didn't just keep it mini with the DualShock 3, but I guess maybe it uses less power or something, which is always good, I suppose. So that threw me off, so you gotta buy all new cables. The light bar, pretty nice. Let's see if I can turn it on for you guys. Yep, there it is. Oh, it's flashing. It's looking. It's got that little pale blue, but it's not going to find nothing. And then you'll see that the triggers, obviously, are very different. Little side profile there. They curve out quite a bit, and very nice for resting your fingers on. And the other main difference that I really want to point out is the L1 and R1s. They're bigger, and they're very interesting to use because they have this like really odd half moon shape going up there, so your finger fits on quite a bit of it, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, you don't really get, the controller's bigger, so you don't really get a lot of curve over onto it like this. Instead, I usually like to hold it back, which means I'm hitting the sides onto both of them, the L and the R's. And it kind of sucks because they're so big, they stick. I know you can't see it, but the sides will stick in, and it really kind of messes with your flow, especially in shooters right now, like for The Last of Us when I'm playing. R1 is shoot. I'm trying to hit that thing really fast and keep sticking. It won't pop back up again, and so it doesn't pick it up. Hopefully, with the fact that R2 is going to be the new fire in PS4, that will get removed. But just know that you can't really reliably hit these bumpers really fast a lot. Kind of sucks. There's a huge space in between the two, which is actually really nice and pretty welcome. It's a little larger than the space on the DualShock 4s, so you do have some quite a bit of range in there from where, so you're not actually hitting multiple buttons at once. You can't really hit both of them, especially with the triggers being so convex like that. Or I guess it's concave. It's bad at physics. So the next biggest thing is the analogs, and you know, you've all seen this before. They are very ridge. They have a very large ridge there, and made out of different material. It's pretty sweet, actually. I found that when playing The Last of Us, I can really just like grab onto this little edge right here and just pull it over just for fine movements. Like, I don't even have to put my thumb in the main middle there. Just pull it wherever I want, and it's very difficult to slip off. It's great. All the face buttons and the D-pad are closer in, not closer into each other, but like closer on the actual controller. So there's not as much pushing down. There's not as much distance there to get it to the bottom. And one thing I really liked is that the faces underneath the buttons are all completely clear. There's no like actual ridge on there like with the DualShock 3. Let me show you real quick what I mean. So the DualShock 3, you can see, has this little ridge right here on both sides, and you can see it kind of collects dust, some sweat in there and everything, and that's really, I don't know, it's unappealing to me, and it makes it look very used. But the DualShock 4 doesn't have that, which is just great. In fact, most of the controller doesn't really have a lot of the flaws the DualShock 3 has in that area. We have one huge, not distance, but length line around here where the controller melds together, but it's very thin, it's very fine, so not a lot of things are going to stuck in there, which means the controller should stay relatively clean, which is great. It's pretty light. It's really nice to hold because it's a little bit longer down here. You can see I can fit 3 whole fingers in there if I wanted to, compared to the DualShock 2 where you could barely fit 2 on there pretty well. And so that means that when you're holding on to it like this, for both triggers, you can really easily grab it and just hold on and go, which means it's, I don't know, very ergonomic as far as I'm concerned. So overall, I think the DualShock 4 is pretty legit. I don't know. It doesn't seem that different to me when you actually start using it, which is really nice. It's a pretty easy transition. Obviously, the main differences are there, and that's going to take a little bit of getting used to. But a night of playing, you know, like a first-person shooter or something, easily to adjust to, which is very nice. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the PS4. So, a few things came into light recently this week that are pretty upsetting, actually. The first thing is that we're actually taking out features that the PS3 had that a lot of people used, primarily playing music. And you'd think it's like, okay, well, that's a pretty standard thing. The PS4, I mean, the PS3 was like this huge media hub that you could use for whatever you want. It's supposed to be like an all-in-one system. Sorry to borrow that from Microsoft. But, I mean, they all are. You know, Xbox, the consoles are supposed to have a lot into it, so you can do what you want. And one thing I was really looking forward to is being able to finally play music in the background of all my games, no matter what it was, because PS4 would have that capability. But apparently not, because not only can you not read CDs, as in audio CDs, which is a take from Nintendo's playbook, but you can't play MP3s, which is the biggest bullshit I've heard in a long time since E3 when Microsoft got on the stage and everything that they talked about was bullshit. Luckily, they fixed that for themselves. But you can't play MP3s? Like, are you kidding me? That takes out all my music playing possibilities, like, pretty much period. Instead, what Sony wants you to do is sign up for Music Unlimited, which is a music streaming service, which has all this music, apparently, although I doubt it has some of my music that I like, because I listen to some off-kilter stuff and some popular stuff, but, you know, everything in between. And so they want you to sign up for this Music Unlimited thing to buy a subscription to music that you already have, that you can't use, which is, it just pisses me off that they're so fucking pompous that they think they can do that and get away with it. Like, they had us all roped in. It's like, oh, look at all the positive things we have. Oh, 2 weeks before the release, things we can't change. Here's all the negative shit. It's like, who are you? Really, who the fuck do you think you are? You're not Microsoft. You can't pull that shit. It's, tables have turned, and I don't like it. I'm not liking it at all. Hopefully this is all the negative stuff we hear, at least in this recent week. Hopefully nothing comes out the next week or the following. They better just keep their mouth shut. They better not say anything, because I can guarantee the only thing they have left is probably negative shit, which sucks. I'd rather get my PS4, play around with my games, and then later them being like, oh, you can't do this. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. I didn't notice because I wasn't doing it, but now I'm a little upset compared to looking forward to it and be like, oh, look at what I can't do. That's just me, though. One other thing that people are really upset about is the inability to be DLNA compatible, which means no media server capabilities for the PS4, period. Now, before I get any further, they are looking into us, and you'll see on their new list of PS4 features that they added a little asterisk, a little addendum there that they're looking into possibilities. However, it won't be happening anytime soon if they do make it happen. The MP3 thing's probably very unlikely to change because they're being little bitches. But the DLNA thing, maybe, because they didn't realize so many people used it and they might look into doing something with it. Also, they have to compete with Xbox, who is going to have both of these things. I have a lot of friends that are really upset. I never really used this myself because it was kind of difficult to set up, and I didn't really have any need for it because I've been living in a dorm for the past 4 years. Everything was literally within reach. I could sit down and just grab whatever the fuck I needed, which was awesome. But, in case you're missing what it is, that is the ability to stream from your computer to your PS3 to play out your TV, or your PS4 to play out your TV, music, videos, everything like that, which is actually really nice for someone who has their nice computer and TV in a different room and wants to, play something with surround sound, something like that. It is a very useful capability, but it won't be present on the PS4, at least not right away. So you have that to bitch about. I would definitely send Yosp a message on Twitter, at YOSP. Just say, hey, bring it the fuck back. Also, MP3s. We want it. Now, the other thing about the PS4 that is not really upsetting, but I felt could have done a little bit better, is the hard drive capabilities, the ability to upgrade your internal hard drive. Now, they don't have external hard drive capabilities, which I'm not entirely sure what that means. They say that external hard drives won't work for extra storage. Now, that makes sense to me in the simple fact that, okay, so if I want to install a game, I can't install it on an external hard drive. Well, that's never really been the case, as far as I know. And that doesn't really bother me because, whatever, I'd rather have it faster on my actual console instead of an external, so it boots up faster and works faster and overall performance is better. But if it means that it won't recognize external hard drives at all, then that sucks, because I have like between 300 and 450 gigs of videos and movies and TV shows on an external hard drive that I want to still be able to use. And if it doesn't pick up externals at all, which I kind of doubt is the case, but given in light of the new MP3 and DLNA news, it might actually be the case. Then I would be very upset. However, we can still upgrade internal hard drives, and this isn't a bad thing. It's good that we can do it, obviously, because I want to upgrade, because we only have a 500 gigabyte hard drive internal to begin with, and with game installs such as Killzone Shadowfall, even disk space being 45, or is it 49? We're just going to say 50 gigs install flat. That's not download. That is via disk. And when you plug it in, and it's like, must install the game. You're like, okay, and you sit there for like 5 minutes on PS3. No, it's going to take like 20 to an hour to really install that game, because it's 50 gigs install. And if they're all like that, which hopefully they will decrease over time as the developers get more used to the PS4 infrastructure and everything and how they develop for it, that could really add up fast. Very fast, in fact. And so I want more space. Now, we're limited a little bit. We can't upgrade, but we are limited. You are limited to 9.5 millimeter thickness and the overall height of 2.5 inch, which is a laptop hard drive, which kind of sucks because they don't really make laptop hard drives pretty much over 1 terabyte, which blows because you're pretty much limited to 1 terabyte. There are a few that are 1.5 terabytes, and those are far and in between, and we're not entirely sure if those are going to be compatible. But I kind of wish they would just go with the full-on, desktop hard drive. Why not? So I can upgrade, so I can have like a 3 terabyte inside my PS4. That would be fucking legit. I would never have to worry about anything ever again. But I guess they're accounting for space and maybe price, so that's fine too. But you have a few options there. Just remember, stick to the laptop hard drives. You can find them on Newegg. Look out for Black November deals. It's not racist. All throughout the month of November, obviously started already. Newegg has a deal, like many deals every day, and you should definitely look into it. Cyber Monday is going to be a huge day. That's the Monday after Thanksgiving. If you're looking for an internal hard drive to upgrade, definitely do it. One last thing that's a little bit of a disappointment on the PS4 is the remote play capabilities. Now, we've been able to, remote play has been around forever, pretty much, since the PSP came out. Oh, look how awesome this is. Actually, that's not true. Since the PS3 came out. Don't quote me on anything, ever. Since the PS3 came out and the PSP, they wanted to put them together. It's like, oh, yeah, look, you can play games on the go. Utter bullshit. It never worked. I tried it with so many different things. It was terrible, and everyone knows it. It never worked with anything. However, with the Vita coming out, they're like, oh, look, you can do remote play now. We finally fixed it. It works because they're, compatible. It's powerful. Well, yeah. E3. Not so much the case. Apparently, it will work better than it has, which is good. But you pretty much need to stick inside the home, which is not what they've been producing on commercials or really distributing earlier than this. So it says in order to work outside the home, you need a really strong internet connection. It's got to be constant, and of course you can't do it over 3G or 4G. It has to be Wi-Fi, which I'd rather have it be Wi-Fi anyway. I don't want to pay for that shit. But just the fact that they're pushing it out, they were saying that, yeah, you can do it wherever you want, not so much anymore, is really upsetting. And the fact that it sounds like when you have it in your home on the same Wi-Fi, and you have to be really close on the same network, it sounds like it's really not going to work that well. It sounds like if I'm watching TV on my couch, or playing PS4 on my couch, and I want to play Vita and my girlfriend wants to watch TV or something, like, I can't really move. It sounds like if I want to go to the shitter, like, on the other end of the house, it's going to get interrupted. And that kind of sucks. That remains to be seen completely. I'm just speculating here. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, so you're saying, like, it has to be optimal conditions for this to really work. And you think back to it on E3, like, they're right next to the console and everything, on stage, 30 feet apart, and then it worked. So, I don't know. I'll definitely be doing tests on the remote play, since I do have a Vita, obviously. And I've got a great house to try it out for my location. So, hopefully, we'll sort of narrow that down to see what the limitations really are. But as of right now, I'm not going to get my hopes up for it really being that useful, which sucks because I really wanted to leave my PS4, go visit my friend, 100 miles away, play Vita over his Wi-Fi so we can play together, or play PS4 over Wi-Fi on my Vita so we can play together. But that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. So, oh well. Nonetheless, I am still very excited for the PS4. For next gen period, and all the games that come with it, all the new goodies, everything. Praying to God that Vita TV comes to the US. That'd be sweet, but I'm not going to get into that. Look it up. That pretty much is all I have today for the V podcast, the November 5th edition. So thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Let me know what sort of videos you want to see on my channel. If it's, pretty much whatever. You want to see more montages, trailers, anything set to music, multiplayer, more single player, more let's plays, more playthroughs, anything you want, and I'll see what I can work into there. So, if you have also, remember, if you have a PVR and you have your own channel you want to hook up, and then we can make videos, then get a hold of me, send me a private message or something. I'm usually a pretty easygoing guy. Also, with the new increased capacity on friends list on PS4, it'll be really easy for me to add people, because I still get, like, probably 3 to 5 messages a day if people want to add me on YouTube, and I apologize, but little disclaimer there: if you send me a message and it doesn't have anything in it, like you don't tell me where you know me from, or you don't tell me that you've watched my videos and you think I'm awesome, or you like my sexy voice, or you want to yell at me, I'm just not going to add you. So if you want to send me a friend request, just say, hey, YouTube. I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, accept. But if it's blank, I'm going to say no. So that pretty much sums it up. Thank you again for watching. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what's coming up with my channel. Again, really appreciate it. Like, comment, rate, subscribe. I'll see you guys later.